Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of Cooking Connected. Just give us one moment. We're going to pull our cameras up here. All right, there we go. Okay, so thank you guys for joining us for this week's episode of Cooking Connected. My name is Sajwa, and I am one of the program coordinators with Cooking Matters, and I'm here again today with Jordan, my coworker. Say hi, Jordan.
Hey everyone.
All right. So this week, like I said, we're going to be doing the black bean and vegetable quesadilla recipe. But before we get started with that, I'm just going to quickly review what a normal Cooking Matters class looks like. Normal Cooking Matters class is a 6-week nutrition-based cooking class, and we meet once a week for 2 hours, where we'll have a nutrition educator and then a chef, and we'll go through a recipe, learn some healthy eating tips, and cook and eat together. So it's really a fun event, and we love doing those cooking classes. But for today's purposes, we're going to be online. We're doing our virtual thing again this week. And like every week, I've been asking if you guys could take our survey for us. I will post the information for the survey in the comments as well as in the description of this video. So check that out after this video and you guys go ahead and take this survey for us. It really helps us as we continue this kind of work, and it helps us to just continue to grow. We're all about that growth here with Cooking Matters. So I've got our program code here, and today's program code is going to be E0968886. And again, that's going to be for this week's episode of Cooking Connected with the black bean and vegetable quesadilla. All right, so I'm going to pass the mic over to Jordan, and she's going to get us started with our recipe.
Hi everyone, welcome back. To those of you who are new, welcome. We are so glad everyone can be here today to cook with us. As Sajwa said, we are making the black bean and vegetable quesadilla. This is another Cooking Matters recipe that we are going to be making today. I really like this recipe just because it's a really quick, easy meal, and you can use a lot of different things that you have in your cabinets or fridge, freezer, pantry. So this is a nice throw together meal that I think the kids would really like as well. What do you think about this one, Sajwa?
Oh, my favorite part about this one is that it's so quick and easy to put together. I mean, some of the same things that Jordan already mentioned. It's easy, it's quick. We're using fresh, frozen, and canned produce, so we're getting all three variations there. So it's a really easy recipe to do.
Yep. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and switch my view. So we've got everything all set up. So we've got our mise en place. For those of you who have been with us, you know what that is. But for those of you who haven't, mise en place is a way of starting setting up your space before you get cooking. So I've got, you can see in my chef's view here, I've got my ingredients ready and all of the things that I'm going to need for this recipe. So it's setting up your space. The first thing that you always do before you start cooking is, of course, washing your hands. Yep. Sajwa knows that one. So, what you do is you go ahead and wash your hands for 20 seconds, getting all those surfaces, and you can sing ABCs, happy birthday, and so on. So then next you're going to go ahead and sanitize your station, sanitize your counters, just make sure it's all clean before we get cooking. So I've got my hands washed, my counters are clean, and I do have my produce already rinsed today, so we are in good shape. So let's go ahead and get started with the recipe. Our first step, it says to, in a colander, drain and rinse the black beans. So today we are using black beans. And as you'll see in the chef's view here, I do have them drained and rinsed. We did not get a low sodium option today, so we have, these are the black beans that I am using, and you can take that sodium off of there by rinsing that. So I have those rinsed. Our next step is to rinse zucchini and cut into thin slices or shred with a grater. So zucchini is an awesome choice for this. It's a little bit different than you would normally see in quesadillas, so this is kind of a funny vegetable to put in there, but it does turn out really awesome. So go ahead and get started cutting. Just a reminder, proper way of holding our knives, pinching the blade and wrapping your fingers around the handle there. Again, that just gives you a little bit more power, so you can cut properly. And then we are using the claw motion again. Just everything's rolling around. We don't want to cut our fingers, so using the claw and then moving your fingers back slowly so you don't cut yourself. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go ahead and take that off.
I was just gonna say, sorry to interrupt. Kind of how we are with cooking manners. We just gotta hop right in. But
Right.
I really like to remind kids, especially maybe young teens who might be learning how to cook, like if it's something that's rolling around, roly poly oly is my favorite funny word. You're gonna want to make sure to cut that so it can have a flat surface, and then go ahead with your slicing or dicing, whatever you're doing. So just keep that in mind.
Yes, that is a really good tip. So this recipe says that if you don't have a grater, you can chop it into fine pieces. So I do actually have a grater today, but I'm just going to quickly show you if you don't have a grater at home. You know, we're going to want to cut those pretty small. So I'm going to go ahead. I already cut this in half and I made a flat surface. And you can make it into sticks. And then, see, I've got these nice sticks going on here. And then I'm going to go ahead and chop down. Being mindful again of proper knife techniques.
Right.
So we've got this nice dice here, and you can make this smaller if you'd like. But I'm actually going to use for a majority of it my grater. And not everybody has a box grater. This is a box grater. But you can use this as well, and this just kind of shreds your zucchini up. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to grate this really quick.
Yeah, those grated pieces would be a lot of fun in a quesadilla.
Yeah. Now, when we're doing this, I mentioned this a few videos ago, but I do get kind of nervous when I'm using a box grater, just because I'm always scared I'm going to scrape my knuckles against that grater there. So please be careful if you are using a box grater today. If you're going to allow your kids to do it, just make sure they're not grating their knuckles there. But it just creates this really nice grated zucchini. This is very moist. You may have to go ahead and actually take some of that moisture out of there with a paper towel, or you can squeeze it out of there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. All right. I made a mess out of my cutting board already. So, and of course, it depends on how big you want these chunks in your quesadilla. This is a nice way to add some extra vegetables. So let's say maybe you want to add a different vegetable. Carrot would be an interesting one. I like to add carrots to my spaghetti mix. And you can add it to a lot of different vegetables, that you like as well. So another choice might be to add some bell peppers in. That would be a great one for this
Oh,
recipe.
that sounds so yummy. I love the idea of adding carrots. I was actually going to suggest that myself, Jordan. So we're thinking alike here.
Yeah.
But for all of our viewers out there watching us right now, go ahead and comment in the live chat or in the comments down below and let us know what other vegetables you would try using into this recipe, try incorporating into this recipe. Jordan already mentioned bell pepper and carrots. What are some other thoughts? Maybe some onion or something?
Yeah. A lot of different great vegetables you can add. As Sajua mentioned, we are using fresh, canned, and frozen today. So we have our fresh zucchini, and we are actually using frozen spinach. So this is what my frozen spinach looks like. When you are using frozen vegetables, keep in mind there's a lot of moisture in there. So what I basically had to do was I defrosted my spinach, and then I squeezed out the moisture that was in there. So we have this already done. Again, you can use fresh spinach if you like, but I actually like to use frozen when you're cooking anyway. When you're cooking with fresh spinach, it does kind of wilt anyway, so it's a great opportunity to use your frozen spinach. So we've got that chopped and rinsed. Next, we're going to go ahead and rinse our corn. So I am using canned corn again today. We are using a no salt added option. I did rinse it anyway. And then of course, keep in mind, you're going to have to rinse the tops of your cans as well.
Yeah, and all of that's a part of that mise en place that we talk about every week, you guys. So, rinsing the top of the cans, rinsing all of your vegetables, make sure we're taking care of that and keeping our kitchen and our food safe.
That's right. Corn does come in season this summer, of course. If you wanted to use fresh corn, it goes on sale and it's actually pretty reasonable. What you'll go ahead and do is take the actual corn on the cob and cut down the sides
Yeah.
of that once you've cooked it. So we've got that done. We are using pre-grated cheese again today. As a reminder, you may want to buy block cheese and, because it may be a little bit more reasonable. Pre-grated cheese, you are paying for somebody else to do that work. So that may be an option. So just make sure to check your prices on cheese, check your block cheese and your grated cheese and find out which one's a little bit more reasonable. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is in a large skillet over medium-high heat, we're going to heat our oil and then we're gonna add our zucchini and we're gonna be using cayenne today.
Ooh, spicy.
Yes.
So I'm just looking back in our chat. I asked a question earlier about what kind of vegetables you guys out there might be wanting to add in quesadilla. And I'm hearing some great things. Someone mentioned sweet potatoes. I think that would be lovely in this quesadilla. That would be really nice. Also, someone mentioned the sweet corn idea that you already had, one of the vegetables, the many things that are in season right now for us. So, as Minnesotans, we need to get in there and get some of those fresh produce while we can. And I'll be talking a little bit later about seasonal fruits and vegetables and buying those. So, stay tuned for that, you guys.
Yes. So I just went ahead and added a tablespoon of oil to my pan. I am using grapeseed oil again today, and as we've mentioned before, canola oil is a great choice, olive oil is a great choice. I just like grapeseed oil, that's my family favorite, but you use what you prefer. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and add our zucchini, and I'm just gonna add just a little bit today. Got a nice sizzle there. So I will have extra zucchini today. You can use zucchini for a lot. Zucchini noodles, I don't know if you've ever heard of those.
Yeah, I've made some and they come out so nice. Oh my goodness, I love it. And it makes me feel good, like I'm eating vegetables and not pasta. Like, what?
Exactly. So, you could really save a lot of your zucchini, make zucchini noodles and have pasta the rest of the week. So there's a lot of different options. I've also heard of zucchini fries as well.
Ah, well, that sounds interesting. I've only heard of cauliflower fries, but zucchini fries could be a hit.
Yeah, that's right. So something else we'll have to try on Cooking Connected. So make sure you tune into our future videos.
I really quickly want to share a question from a viewer. They're asking, what is the cost of grapeseed oil versus canola oil? Or like any other oils? Is it more expensive?
Grapeseed oil is a little bit more expensive than canola oil, but it is cheaper than olive oil. So it's kind of that median price range. The reason I actually use it is for, it's got what's called a higher smoke point. And what that means is that it doesn't burn. So when you heat olive oil, a lot of times you're going to see smoke when it gets at really high temperatures. Mm-hmm. Grapeseed oil, you can actually heat to a higher temperature and it won't burn as easy. But it's still that great choice to make using a plant-based oil, a liquid oil like this. But canola oil is still a really great option. That's also, heart healthy and everything that we want. So we went ahead and we're just going to cook our zucchini until it's semi-soft. So it's been cooking for a little while and I've only got a little bit in there. So that is our zucchini there in the chef's view.
Well, it looks really good, Jordan. Great job.
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and add our corn and spinach next.
Okay.
So, and the great thing about this recipe, if you're making it for a lot of people, I mean, you don't have to use all the vegetables that you have prepped. So you'll see I have a lot of leftover corn. You can save this. Cook it and save it and make our quesadillas at another time. So just put it in the fridge and then it's all ready to go.
Well, that's a really great meal planning tip that I like there. Because
Yeah.
I personally like my quesadillas hot and fresh off of the skillet, with the cheese all gooey and melted. So that's really helpful if you want to maybe have a quesadilla later on and you have some of these leftover ingredients. You can just, they're already prepped and cut for you. That's awesome.
That's right. Yep, just throw them in the fridge, and then when you're ready, go ahead and make yourself a quesadilla.
Right. So
And yeah, go ahead, Sajwa. Sorry.
here we go again, you guys. We're just stepping on each other's toes, but I love it. Um, so while those are cooking down, and feel free to interrupt me as you need, Jordan, with updates on our recipe. I really quickly wanted to talk a bit about some seasonal fruits and veggies, and just kind of explain what it means to eat in season. So, eating in season means that you're going to be eating fresh foods that are harvested right now, harvested during this time of the year. So, um, it's a way that you can eat locally, and it's a great way to like get the most out of your fruits and vegetables. And I mean by flavor, color, texture. They're going to be the best at the peak of ripeness when you're eating in season. So another great reason is you can usually save money by going to farmers markets. And for example, right now, this time of year, we have a lot of berries coming out. It's summertime, and these farmers are overwhelmed with all their berries. They're trying to get rid of them. So you're usually going to find them at a cheaper cost now than you would, for example, in January, where it's a little skimpy on our berry selection. Make sure that you're comparing prices again, checking out your farmer's market, and seeing which would be, the best price for you. I know one tip when we go to the farmer's market is asking if you can buy a smaller quantity if you know you're not going to be able to eat that large amount, because again, we're dealing with fresh produce, which can go bad quickly. It goes bad quicker than something that's frozen or canned. So keep that in mind. And I mean, eating fresh and seasonal fruits and vegetables is just a great way to like really take on that summer feel. Like nothing's better than real true berries or different things when they're in season. The flavor is amazing. So I have this chart here, and I might be able to post a link for this in the description. There we go. And something like this is really helpful as you're out grocery shopping right now, or even going to the farmers markets, whatever you're doing, wherever you're buying your produce. But basically, it shows me what's in season right now according to the month. So, for example, right now we are in the month of June, and I see things like bell peppers, blueberries, cherries are in season. That sweet corn is in season. I wonder, let's see here. Oh, we've got tomatoes, summer squash, strawberries, raspberries, plums. So all of those things are in season right now. This is the perfect time to take advantage of that. Take advantage of getting your produce at the best quality that it can be.
Farmers markets are going on now, so
Yeah.
might as well take advantage.
Yeah. And I mean, even if you can't get into the farmers markets, again, buying strawberries at your local grocery store now compared to in the wintertime is going to be a lot. It's a big difference in the quality, the amount, size, color. It's all a big difference. So buying it in season definitely has its perks.
Absolutely.
This is cherry season, so I love just like popping cherries. Like,
Healthy snack.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so you see I took my mixture. I just went ahead and made sure everything was tender. I took my mixture off the heat and I did season it with about a teaspoon and a half of cayenne pepper. A little bit more. It says about a pinch in the recipe, but I'm going to like it a little more spicy today. So I did use, again, we mentioned this before, but I am using a cayenne pepper that's in a bag. This is buying it seasonings in bags like this just tends to be a little bit more cheaper. So keep an eye out for that at the store. Usually it's by the produce section. I buy mine at Cub, but I know that there are a lot of other places that sell their seasonings in bulks as well. So we're gonna go ahead and add some black beans now. And we're gonna add this to the mixture and then we're gonna combine them and then we're gonna actually lightly smash our beans and kind of create like a little bit of a vegetable paste.
Awesome. And I don't know if you guys saw, I had mentioned earlier in the live chat that this recipe also works well with pinto beans. I've done that before and I really like that. So you can get creative or try, whatever you have in your cabinet, and maybe you don't have black beans, try those pinto beans, rinse them off, and they'll work just fine.
Absolutely. And then, adding beans is just a really great option in general because it does add protein to your recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you can add a chicken to quesadillas. I do like chicken quesadillas as well, but
Yeah.
adding this extra vegetable with protein in it is a great way to still get your protein, but not all of the saturated fat that's in
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
animal.
and we've talked about that in a previous video. Different ways that we can get our protein without having all the saturated fats from heavier meats, red meats, things like that. So if you want to do chicken, that's a good lean option. Maybe you have turkey or you might have fish. I mean, you can get really creative, spice it up, do it up the way you like. But again, beans and things like that are a really cheap and great alternative protein source.
Absolutely. Just gonna go ahead and season with a little bit of pepper here. And of course, you can add other seasonings to your quesadillas. If I were going to make this later on, I might consider adding garlic powder because I absolutely adore garlic.
Yes.
And of course, any others, onion powder. There's a lot of different awesome seasonings out there. So, all right, so we've got everything kind of mashed up, and this is what it's going to look like. And we're going to put this in our quesadilla.
Okay.
And of course, you can go ahead and add, like I said, any vegetables that you enjoy. So we went ahead and we're going to put the mixture on a tortilla here. So we are using whole grain tortillas again today. Sajo's favorite.
Yes, you guys, I love it. We're going to be using whole grains. So, again, we love to promote making half of your grains whole grains. And so, whole grains, they're packed with a lot of fiber, extra nutrients. They're going to keep you fuller longer. And they're just a really great thing to be incorporating into your plate. So, when you're looking at your My Plate, you might notice whole grains or grains on there. Making half of those grains whole. Keep that in mind.
All right,
Oh,
so
that
like I
looks
said, we're going to
really
add
good.
this to your tortilla. Now, caution here, don't overfill your tortillas. Some of it will fall
I'm
out when you're cooking it.
guilty.
I've learned that
Guilty.
every time I do that.
Well,
Uh,
you know what? If some falls out, I am not gonna blame you because that makes the bean and the corn like, wow, it looks so yummy. I cannot blame you for filling it up.
Absolutely. Then we're going to go ahead and add, of course, our cheese on top.
Cheese. Yep.
Yep, gotta have our cheese. So we're just
Cheese.
going to put
Yep.
that on half of our tortilla, and then we're going to go ahead and put it back on the heat. So let me turn this guy back on. All right. So we put this on the half of the tortilla. We topped with our cheese, and then we're going to go ahead and fold it over, just like a normal quesadilla.
That looks perfect.
And then we will go ahead and put this right on the heat. So I might actually need to add a little bit more oil to this. So your recipe does say that you can use, um,
Oh, Jordan, we've lost our chef view. Oh, did you turn it off? Maybe it's
oh,
not needed anymore.
my cabinet closed on me. I'm sorry, guys.
No problem. Thank you.
There we go. So I'm going to add a little bit more oil to my pan. That's just kind of helps it brown a little bit.
Right.
You can use a spray oil if you'd like, but as always, I like to use the liquid oils over the spray. It's a little bit cheaper and there's less additives, no propellants to get that stuff out of there. So, all right.
Yeah, that looks really good. I have one viewer. They are wondering, can I add cilantro? You can add whatever kind of vegetables you like. I would love to add cilantro. I think maybe a little avocado on the side would be good. Oh my goodness, that sounds so yummy. Tomato would be a good option. You can certainly use any kind of vegetables that you feel are your favorites. Go for it. That's the great thing about a recipe is it's a guideline and it's really great. It's instruction for the first time. But if as you get more comfortable with the recipe, do your thing.
Absolutely. So when you're cooking this, just go ahead and watch it. You're going to wait until it gets golden brown on each side. But they do, if you turn up your heat too high, it is going to burn on you. So make sure you're watching that. Not unless you like things with a little bit of a char, which is fine too. All right.
I think another viewer also mentioned that cumin would be a really great seasoning to add, and I think that would be really nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there are so many different ways that you can take this. Go be free. Take it and go. We're sending you off.
So we do have a little bit of it's getting golden brown on that
Oh, I
side.
love
That's what
that.
it's going to look like.
I like a little crisp on my quesadillas, so
There you
yeah.
go. That crispiness is the best.
That's what gets you, yeah. So I guess while Jordan's finishing that, I am also gonna just give you guys a few tips about mealtime and how we can make mealtime family time. One thing that we like to do in my family is we have a goal of eating together at least once a week. And it's a committed once a week. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You better be there or be square. So it's a great time for us to get together, gather over food, talk and share, and just catch up on each other's lives. For other people, maybe if you have kids, you might have to be a little flexible with that. Or only meal, it doesn't have to be dinner. It can be a breakfast, it can be a lunch, it can be on the weekend. You can be really flexible with that and really take that time and make it work for you and your family. Also, we like to try to promote focusing on one another. So turning off that TV, maybe putting down the cell phone, and again, we're looking for that human engagement. To move with some relaxed music if you're for that. You can also give people up to do before we sit down and eat. So clearing and setting the table is a good option. Someone's got to be on cleanup duty. So all of those are really great ways to get people involved in eating together. But we really like to make mealtime a learning time. So we're going to be spending time talking about where our food comes from, talking about our eating traditions, and maybe how they compare to other cultures and those differences that you might see. So if you and your family are up for it, we encourage you to take some of those tips and try them yourself. And, feel free to share some of your own traditions with us in the comments below, your meal traditions. And, that's the beautiful thing about eating is just coming together. I love it.
Yes.
We're cooking connected.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got everything cooked here. Like I said, it's a nice golden brown.
That's perfect.
So we just went ahead and cut it, and then we've got all our vegetables there. You can top this with, we like to do like a plain non-fat yogurt
Yeah.
for sour cream.
I was gonna say that. Great catch. And like a salsa, maybe even if you like. If you wanted to, you could sprinkle that cilantro that someone mentioned in the chat. You could sprinkle that on there. You can really get creative with that. We have a recipe to a mango salsa, which is so good, you guys. I will actually share that and I'll put that in the description of this video for you guys. I'm gonna actually write that down so I don't forget. But that might go really well on the side if you want to go with that. A little funky, so keep that in mind.
Absolutely. And I also really like to make this with eggs, so making it a breakfast thing as well. You can do that with
Oh,
scrambled
that's a good
eggs.
idea. Yeah.
So this is a really versatile recipe. Kids, I think, would really enjoy this recipe. It's really quick. It's nice, easy, quick, either lunch, dinner, or even breakfast. So
Yeah.
awesome. So this is our black bean and vegetable quesadilla. Of course, always adjust it to your needs, your preferences as well. But this is an awesome recipe.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Jordan. Your quesadilla came out perfect. The exact color. I like it. Nice and golden brown. I can see the crisp. It looks so good. So thank you for doing that for us again this week and showing us and walking us through a new recipe. And before we go, you guys, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's tuned in to this episode of Cooking Connected. Thank you guys for your support and your comments and likes on Facebook. We really appreciate that, and that's super encouraging to us. So feel free to check back in with us on our YouTube channel for more videos. Check back in on our Facebook page for more updates from us to see what we're doing. And again, if you guys could take some time and do the survey for us, we'd really appreciate that. I'm just gonna hold the code up again for you. So make sure I'm in view. There we go. So the survey code for this week again is gonna be E096886. And that's for this episode of Cooking Connected, the black bean and vegetable quesadilla. And again, thank you everybody for tuning in with us, and we'll see you next week. Also, comment below if you guys have any suggestions. What's going on, guys? Comment below. We need some suggestions. We want to tailor these videos for you, so let us know what you want to see us make. Okay. All right. As always, everyone, take care and have a great day.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.